that are looking to excel in their game. My name is Manny Fraser. I'm your host, and today I'm going to be pulling back the curtains on my personal journey. And that's a look into me as an introvert. And a lot of people don't realize this because I can be very extroverted, but I'm very introverted. I'm very a non-social person. I like being at home. I like being in my office. And I do the things I do because of the necessariness of the job, not because it's something that I was born with or not because it's something that I just excel at. Okay. If you're a personal trainer who struggles with the idea of putting yourself out there or connecting in large groups, this episode is for you. Now, like I said, I wasn't comfortable with social settings, and the idea of selling myself or my services felt awkward. My time that I spent incarcerated only reinforced a tendency that I had already had, which is being alone, to retreat inward, to shield myself, to really be in seclusion. Uh, to feel a mix like I felt like when I got released, I felt a mix of shame and failure. So like I didn't really want to meet with people because I didn't want people to talk to me about it or like Google me. Like you didn't want people to do all that stuff because that's what people were doing then. Like I'm gonna Google you. Now people just check your Instagram. But like before then, when I started, it was like, oh, let's Google your name. So that's why I changed my name. I didn't change my name legally. I just shortened my name, used the abbreviation. Like I used Manny. That's not what I was born as. I was born as Mansa, and I was born as Mansa because I didn't, and that's my name that my dad gave me. And so I used Manny. That's an interesting story in itself. Someone had owed me money, and they had their mom send money, and they sent it to my I sent got it sent to my girlfriend, and they said, "Tell Manny I say hi," and I was like something like that. It was that's how I came up with the name Manny. But through it all, I found something powerful in terms of resilience, growth, and ultimately the ability to transform. That's how I found a way to be able to do that. Like in terms of getting past my introvertness helped me excel in it was my superpower, right? And this is something that a lot of extroverts don't get to do. There's a great book called The Introvert's Edge. Highly suggest you read it. If you classify or think yourself as an introvert, this is a book that you want to read. I'm just sharing my journey with you so I can give some practical tips on how you, as an introvert, can thrive in sales and create meaningful connections with clients. Okay. Just because you're introverted doesn't mean that you're doomed to fail. It means that you got to figure out how to utilize your skill sets. Okay. All right, let's dive in. When I first got out, I felt the weight of my past was something I could never shake. I was carrying around a lot of shame, a sense of failure, and when you spent a lot of time alone, like I did, whether by choice or by circumstance, it can be really hard to start connecting with others in a genuine way. Like I still find it hard to connect with others, and like I when I do find someone I can connect to, it generally is like it's very rare and far. The reason why is because like I am an introverted person. I am a person that's very private. I don't like talking about the things that are happening in my life, and I that's something I'm growing with. I need to learn, but like realistically, these are things that you as an introvert are gonna be. You like spending time with yourself. Like so, I remember like so. How did I classify or how did I learn that I was an introvert? It was one of my clients actually. I spent my entire life thinking I was extroverted because of the jobs that I had and like always being so like not I wasn't people person. I was more taking jobs that were sales dominated. And because I was taking jobs that are sales dominated, they're very extroverted jobs. Like I like making money and that's why I did well at my jobs. I was willing to do things that other people were scared to do. Like I didn't care. But it wasn't like my introvertness didn't stop me. My natural inclination is not to talk to people, but I talk to people because of the fact that it made me money, right? So like I remember these are choices that I made naturally from working at Foot Locker to working at the CNE to working at Sports Check, doing door to door, doing shoe sales, doing phone call sales, like any type of sales environment that I ever did was always a choice. Um, I knew I had to work through these feelings, not just to survive, but to become the best version of myself. These feelings of not wanting to connect with others in a genuine way. I had to learn how to kind of overcome those things. And for a long time, I struggled with that. Being alone felt comfortable and safe. But it's also kept me from reaching my potential, right? It took a lot of self-reflection and a good support system to help me start breaking down those walls. And one of the good support systems I have is my wife. She pushes me to continually talk to people and reach out. And like I said, I don't like naturally I don't like talking to people. Like I talk to people for a living, which is very interesting. But my natural tendency is not to go up and talk to people. My natural tendency is to just not talk to people. Right. And my wife pushes me to go talk to people. She is actually more of an extrovert than I am. Oh, yeah. I was going to say, my client made me realize I was an introvert by saying, like, so I told her, she asked me, do you think of yourself as an introvert or extrovert? I said, I think of myself as an extrovert. She said, okay, well, and I said, but I don't know. It's like, okay, well, think about it like this. Where do you get your energy from? I'm like, okay. So like when you spend a lot of time with people, do you feel drained or do you feel energized? I'm like, when spend a lot of time with people, I feel drained. It's like, you're probably more introverted. And I'm like, huh. And it's like, it makes sense. And like, look at it from this point of view. Where do you get your energy from? Right. And that's one of the first points. It's like, understand where you're getting your energy from. And what I mean by energy, like, do you feel tired after spending time with people? Do you feel tired after spending more like time with like friends? Like I do. I feel like, oh my gosh. And I don't feel energized after spending time with friends. I feel lethargic because I feel like I was just on, right? An extroverted person, they need that. They need that camaraderie. They need those people. I don't need people. I like people. I like spending time with people, but I do not need to spend time with people. I can go weeks, months, years all by myself, right? And that's normally the signs of an introverted person. And like a deep introversion would be like going up to seclusion in some sort of mountaintop and just like getting away from society. And like if I didn't have a wife, kids, family, I would be able to do that like in a heartbeat. And like my time incarcerated helped me with that because I got 4.5 years of being secluded from everybody, right? So slowly I began to see that I could use these challenges. I can utilize these struggles that I was facing, that I've been going through, not as a strength, not just as like to create a strength, not a barrier. I realized that by learning more about myself, I could connect better with others. And that's when my approach into sales really changed. So let's talk about it. If you're an introverted fitness professional, here are some tips. Here are some key tips I wish I'd known earlier. I wish someone had known, like, let me know that these insights come not just from my journey, but also from the years of helping others like you succeed. Okay, number one. So this one goes without saying, build a strong support system. Sales isn't easy. It can be very stressful and it requires you to be vulnerable and open to rejection. A lot of people, when they get into sales, they're not open to rejection. Like they think that everyone should just be buying everything from them because they look a certain way or they are a certain way. And the honest truth is, you're not. People are not going to buy stuff from you. Having a support system makes all the difference. For me, it was friends, it was mentors, it was even family members who kept encouraging me. Okay. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, especially in those tough days when self doubt creeps in. Whether it's a fellow trainer at your gym or someone you can call up after a long day, a strong support system will help you stay grounded and motivated. If you're in a management role like I am now, foster an environment for your team because a little encouragement goes a long way, right? You have to create that support system where everyone is kind of like together, right? I like to call it the hangout spot, right? Create a support system where trainers can talk to each other, where they can speak to each other. If you're in a management setting, if you're not in a management setting, as a trainer, you have to look at like how can you be a support system for other people, and then also like what is your support system? Like take a pen and paper, write down the people that you have in your life that you can talk to when you're stressed. That you can like be like, okay, let me just talk to this person that you know you can get either the real information or they're just going to listen to you. Okay. All right. Next, number two, practice active listening. Introverts often have a natural advantage here. We listen. And I've always been told, like, you're such a great communicator. And it's just because, like, I never talked, just listened. And people like talking about themselves and people like talking. So, like, the best case for an introvert is someone that's an extroverted person because an extroverted person likes talking, an introverted person likes listening. right? And can listen. That's two strengths. I can't stress enough how much clients appreciate being heard. When you're talking to your potential client, focus on really understanding their needs, their challenges, and their goals. When they feel understood, they're far more likely to trust you and invest in your services. Okay. Active listening is about being present, asking thoughtful questions, and responding in a way that shows you understand. It's a skill that every successful introverted salesperson should really hone in. Like you're already doing it pretty well. Like you just have to now like do it on purpose. Okay. And work on it more and more. Figure out like ways to ask questions that get people to talk more. Right. An introverted person needs all you do is when you have this skill of being able to listen, all you got to do is hone in that skill of being able to listen and work on it even more and more and more. Number three, take time to recharge. This is a big one because we are in a social aspect of life. Like what we do is very social, and social interactions can be draining. Okay. Even when you love your work, I found taking breaks throughout the day and scheduling time to recharge is critical. So time to recharge might be a quick kettlebell swing, walk on the treadmill, go outside for a walk. Maybe it's a quick walk outside, maybe some quiet time before your next session. Maybe you read a book. Recharging keeps you fresh and present and ready to engage with your clients in a meaningful way. You don't have to be on all the time to be effective. In fact, giving yourself permission to recharge can actually help you perform in the long run. Okay. So if you're an introvert, remember that being successful in sales doesn't mean you have to become someone else. You don't have to be the loudest person in the room or the one who's always networking. You can succeed by being authentic, using your strengths, and by connecting with clients on a real human level. It took me time to see that being introverted could be a strength in sales. My journey from feeling alone and ashamed to feeling confident and empowered wasn't easy. But today, I stand here or sit here sharing my story with you, and I hope it reminds you that growth is possible, change is possible, and success is even in sales is absolutely possible for introverts. So take these tips, use them in your own way, and remember, you have what it takes to rise and thrive. Okay. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If you found value in today's episode, share it with a fellow introverted trainer or just another fitness professional who could use some encouragement. Don't forget to subscribe so that way you never miss an episode. As always, stay strong, stay resilient, and keep pushing forward. I'll catch you next time.